Welcome to Study Like a Scientist HSC questions, and we've got to remember to read the question. Make sure you highlight the verbs so you know how much detail you need to go into. Make sure you understand the science that's going on with those key words and the purpose of the question. So answer what's written and not what you want to answer. Notice if there are any plurals and how many marks are available so that when you plan your response, you can use the right scientific words, decide how long your answer needs to be, if there's a stimulus, actually interact with that stimulus, and plan your answer out logically to help the marker find your reasoning and give you marks. And then at the end, review your response to make sure that you have answered everything you need to answer. So for this question from the 2023 paper, question 27, we have some stimulus, so let's read all of it. Air pollution has been linked to a variety of non-infectious neurological or brain disorders. Now don't panic if you haven't studied air pollution or you haven't studied neurological disorders. It doesn't matter. They've given you stimulus that you can engage with. So it says here some of the symptoms include memory loss, cognitive decline, and impaired movement and coordination. And now we get on to some of the details of this question. 500 people from 3 major cities are surveyed, and they are monitored and tested for 12 months. Each group includes males and females aged between 20 and 50. And after 12 months, they got these results. So let's read it properly. They got the 3 cities. They're looking at the percentage of the sample, that's your 500 people with symptoms, and they've got information for men and women. And then they want you to evaluate the method. Evaluate is quite a complex answer. So you need to put a value on the method used. So is it a good method? Is it very strong epidemiologically? Is it valid as an epidemiological survey or study technique? And is it actually going to allow you to see a link between air pollution and the symptoms? Okay, so that's what they're asking you to. Does it do this, and how well, to what extent does it do it? And you're going to need to get 7 marks worth of data from this. So this is quite a long answer question. So let's have a look at the marking criteria and see the differences. Now, you don't get to see the marking criteria when you are doing the question, but we can look at it now. And they are wanting to see a thorough understanding. So you have to put lots of detail in. And they want, you notice, characteristics and features of an epidemiological study that is valid. So all the kind of things that make a good study good. And you want plenty of them. It needs to be comprehensive on how good it is as a study of air pollution and the symptoms caused. So you're probably going to want to say it's good in this way, but bad in that way. And informed judgments mean they need to be backed up by evidence. In other words, use the data from the stimulus to back up your judgment. So let's have a look at a response that's been written by a student and make a decision as to whether this is going to be worth 7 marks or less than 7 marks and why. So pause this, have a look at the stimulus, the marking criteria, and this response. See what you think it's worth and how could you improve it if it needs improving. Now, what I find interesting about this is this student has gone about this in quite a clever way. They have thought about how to plan their response in a way that is logical, and they've done it as a table, and that's great. So that's a really helpful way of laying out their evidence. So they've got a really clear list of good points and bad points of an epidemiological investigation or survey or study, and everything that they've put down is correct. What they're really missing, though, is an overall statement of whether they think this is a strong and valid study. Do the good points outweigh the bad, or vice versa? Is it flawed, and therefore you can't actually make a final judgment of whether air pollution is linked to these symptoms. So they're missing that. So you can do your evidence in a table like this, but then you would want to finish it off with a sentence or two or a short paragraph, just bringing everything together, not re-saying everything you said, but bringing it together and making a final evaluation. So with that in mind, pause this, try and write your own response and see how you go.